2 today because I ain't even know how I do it, man. We going to the 559 right now. I mean, we were in LA, now we're going to 5. That's how we do it. What's up with this? What's up, though? What's up with it, bro? No, hey, hey, what's up, my boy? Can you hear me?
What's happening? Can you hear me?
Yep.
For sure.
What's up, my boy? How you doing?
I'm doing cool, man. Just chilling.
Another day in paradise or what?
Yeah, just kicking back at the moment.
Hell yeah. So where you at right now? You're in the 559?
Yeah, I'm in Fresno. I stay in Fresno right now.
Oh, okay. I saw something about Sanger, but I didn't know if that was like, if you're from there or that's just some shit I saw. I don't know.
Well, that's my hometown. That's where I grew up. That's where I spent most of my life growing up, and like where that's really where I started making music and where I became inspired to make music. And so that's what I consider like my hometown. Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, I'm trying to remember. Yeah. I'm not trying to remember that whole area, you know what I mean? But yeah, I was in Fresno. I remember doing, being over there at Fresno State and partying, and then también also just the Bulldogs
Okay.
too.
Oh,
But
okay, for sure,
yeah,
for sure.
that's
Also,
awesome.
you've been out to some Fresno State parties or what?
Yeah, when I was in Mecha, I was in Mecha down south, and so we would go to Fresno
Oh,
to
okay.
do like, those little external, they'd call them like external, I forgot, external meetings, and we would just
Okay.
we'd party a bunch, and then and then talk politics in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
For sure, man.
Yeah,
What
you got,
were you gonna say?
yeah. I remember like being familiar with Mecha and stuff when I went to state too. I
Oh,
went to school there. So, yeah.
okay. So is that how you got over to Fresno? Going to college right there?
Uh, yeah, pretty much. Cause like Sanger, is a small town. Like I don't know. Do you know kind of like the San Joaquin Valley pretty well or
Nah, not really, but I mean,
kind of
a
how it's
little
laid
bit.
out?
But
Okay.
no,
Well, yeah,
I need a little help.
yeah. There's a lot of little cities and towns that are about like 15, 20 minutes from each other, 30 minutes from each other.
Okay.
So Fresno is one of the bigger cities, but so Sanger, where I grew up, is like 20 minutes out from Fresno. So everything is in Fresno. Like there's no colleges out there or anything. So like growing up, like the mall and like anything that there wasn't in Sanger, we always came to Fresno through too. So that is what brought me to Fresno though, just having to come to school out here and then working out here and all that.
For sure, man. Well, let's jump into this shit, man. Who are you? Where are you from? Even though you kind of told me. And what do you do?
Yeah. So I go by the name of Agent or Agente. Um, I recently started including that too because I've been starting to do more bilingual, more Spanish rap, and so um, yeah, I just want to be able to kind of to make that connection. So I consider myself an artist. I grew up in Sanger, California. I was born in Colima, Mexico.
Shout out.
Um, yeah, I was brought here when I was like around 1 year old. So I spent my whole life growing up here in the U.S. Um, and I make music, and I tell my story. That's what I do.
Hell yeah. That's right, my boy. Hey, where's Fowler? Fowler in the house.
Fowler's in the past. Okay, so Fowler's another city out here. It's probably like Fowler's probably like 20, 30 minutes from Fresno.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I always get curious about all those fucking spots. Yeah, shout out to El Chino showing love. Um, I don't even know what hello Kaggle. I don't even know what that means. I thought that was a city, a little smaller city too. So Fresno is basically the biggest city though by far, right? It's like a 500,000 people.
yeah. It is. It is the bigger city by far. So like even like as far as music, like the I mean my first performances were in Sanger. We did put together some shows in Sanger. I was a part of some shows in Sanger, but Fresno was really like where it was at, like where there was more venues, just a lot more people, a lot more going on. So like as far as like the music scene out here, most of it is in Fresno.
Hell yeah. Nah, I feel he said ask him about how he started battling.
Oh, okay, ask me about how stuff. Oh, okay, okay.
Shout out to the Polido family, 89.
Oh, okay, for sure, for sure. Damn, that's a while back. That was like in high school, really. Um, I think. I mean, I don't know how much to elaborate on it, but pretty much, I got into battling when I just discovered hip hop. I started listening to West Coast shit first and foremost, like Snoop, like Dr. Dre, like Tupac. But then I got put onto some East Coast shit, and Wu Tang was really one of the groups that really inspired me to really start rapping because it kind of brought a few things like together for me. So I mean, battle rap, like for me, it was kind of like, you know, like I'm sure you've been. Where did you grow up, man?
I was born in Santa Paula, lived in Oxnard till I was 4, and I grew up in Santa Rosa, North Bay, like 45 minutes
Okay,
of north of San Francisco, hour, and then in the Sonoma kind of like Napa Valley area, and then lived in LA from 18 to 30, basically, with
okay, for sure. So you've been around.
18 to 33, but 2 of those years I lived in San Francisco and Oakland. Or 3 of those years
Okay,
I got a master's out in the Bay real quick, and then I went back to LA real quick.
okay, okay, for sure. Um, yeah, like so when I started battling, like when you're like a young man growing up, there's like this kind of dominance thing going up. I don't know if it's like just like hood culture or it's like you know like young male ego or whatever, where you
Yeah,
wanna
I
you
joined the
know you
neighborhood
feel
when
like
I
you
was
got.
I joined my local neighborhood at a young age, my boy. So yeah, I know.
Oh, okay, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
so just dealing with that pressure and shit, and like you gotta like establish yourself. You know, you gotta like you gotta get respect or whatever. And so
yeah.
to me, that was a way that made sense for me to like to battle to smash on fools like lyrically, where it kind of made more sense of who I was as a person.
Hell
You
yeah,
know, because I wasn't really about the violent shit, but I was about standing up for myself, and
hell
so.
yeah,
So that's how battling came about. I just became interested in it, just like the whole idea of like being able to put people up, but with words instead of like literally like literal violence. You know what I'm saying?
hell yeah,
And
hell
so
yeah.
yeah, like in high school, I before I started making songs, I started battling, and then I started working on songs and stuff.
That shit always just tripped me out, homie. Just 'cause I be smoking weed and shit, you feel me? But like I don't drink, but I used to drink a lot. But like I just don't know how motherfuckers be just in the moment, being able to. And I know a lot of shit, some shit's like practice or what if this happens, what if that happens, you know what I mean? But at the same
Yeah,
time, it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
still, dog, that shit. You know what I mean? That's why I had to pick up a camera, homie, because I never could put those words together like that. So,
Oh,
um,
for sure. For sure.
but real quick, hey everybody, follow my boy, follow me, share the live, show love. If you don't know who the fuck I am, I'm Pocho1, and this is the live show, man. And we just like to get people on here, and fuck around and network, man, and do something positive online instead of something negative. You feel me? El Chino 3124 says, "Have you already done concerts? And hold on. And when is the next song? I'm Jorge Animo, #1 fan, very old, and I admire you."
Okay, so the
That's
first question
love.
was,
Have you already done have you done any concerts? And when the
oh
next
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
So
when the next song is?
when the next song is okay. Concerts, I had one on the 19th. Was that this past weekend?
The
Two
Foo
weeks ago,
Files.
past Friday. I had one in Santa Cruz. So yeah, I've been networking and building networks in more places. I was out in Santa Cruz on the 19th. Um, I'll be in Compton this Saturday actually,
Where?
and at the Compton Art Walk. I gotta look at the address. But I'm gonna do a pop up and a performance at the Compton Art Walk this Saturday.
Fuck, that sounds tight, dog. What's up, Foo
And
Files? Don't be asking to sock check us or nothing, motherfucking you fools. These motherfuckers, I don't know. I got mixed feeling about the fools, but I love them no matter what. But but uh, shout out to the Foo Files. Hey, hey,
That's really cool.
when did you get off the porch though? When did you fucking, say, you know when you're like, I'm gonna take this more serious, like not just fucking around with the homies, but when you're like, I'm gonna start to activate myself, and I say activate, elevate. You know what I mean? Like, when did you feel like you started elevating yourself? Because I feel like when you start doing that, it's not that you separate yourself from people, but you're on your own trip, kind of in your own mind, right? Figuring out your own shit. So especially because
Yeah.
a lot of times other people, and not that we don't have jobs, but like you go get a job and you work for somebody else, but even when you're working for somebody else in your mind, you're thinking about something else, right? So when did you decide that you were gonna like basically become an artist?
Well, it's kind of like my idea of being an artist, and as far as like you know taking shit serious has kind of changed because in the beginning, when I first started making music, I I already envisioned myself like on big stages, the music when I went about like putting together my lyrics, I considered myself at competition with like the people that I consider were the greats, like my inspirations. You know, like Wu Tang, like Nas, like you know, even like Tupac, right? Because Tupac inspired me a lot. Um, and so from the beginning, that's how serious I was about it in my mind. Like I knew like that was what I wanted to do as a career, right? Like I wanted to be an artist, but I didn't really understand what it took or what it took to be an artist. If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So like early out, I felt like I was able to kind of separate myself, or I kind of stood out. Like you just kind of you pick up on it, um, and not in a way where you like. Well, I think a lot of artists, you believe in yourself, right? So you kind of tell yourself if you're dope or whatever, or if you know you believe in yourself to a certain extent.
Hell yeah, but what's crazy, a lot of people
Mhm.
don't. So that's why I'm like surprised. That's why I interview a lot of artists because they believe in themselves enough to get on here and talk. You know, a lot of people are like,
Yeah, yeah.
what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I believed in myself like from the jump, and it was very something very serious like in my mind, and I didn't know exactly
What a thought
uh
too.
how to go about I guess reaching a certain level that I wanted to be at.
Yeah.
And so and then at the same time, because I started making music in high school, and like from the beginning, like I did release albums, I released physical, like I was selling stuff, right? And I was performing and all that. But I also went to school. When I started going to school, like you know how you're talking about like you got to go do a job and like you know you're there but your mind's not there,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like you're like oh like when I used to work a laborer's job, like when I used to work in the fields, right? I would be working on lyrics all day, like my mind was free, right? But then going to school, that's the shit about institutions, right? Going to school, it occupies your mental space,
Doesn't it
especially
though?
like yeah, like cause like I did a bachelor's and then I did a master's,
So did I, bro. And
right?
I have, to be honest, I wouldn't have done it if I had a chance. I wouldn't. I hate to say this. I wouldn't have gone to school, bro. I feel like
Well, bro,
it took a lot of my time up of my creative space.
yeah,
It's
yep,
fucking
yep.
crazy. It's probably meant that we were going because we were supposed to do this a bunch of times. But it's funny that you said that shit because I've been going through that right now, my boy. Like right, that's conversation. I'm having that shit
Yo,
right now with myself. Like I just spent all these years getting all these degrees. I'm $100,000 in debt. I got a master's from
see,
USC.
that's a thing too,
But
and
so what? You know what I mean? So what?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, see that's what I'm saying about how I think about as far as like taking things serious as an artist or even success, right? Because like my situation was I was undocumented, so your parents tell you your only shot is school, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, for
Your,
sure.
the only way to fucking like you know and to my parents a good job was just not working in the sun.
Of
If you work
course.
inside, if you work in a
Oh,
store, in the office, something, you know what I'm saying?
that's
So you know what I'm
gangster.
saying? Breaking that face, you know what I'm talking about.
That's super
And
gangster. Yeah, because we got fields all around us right here in Santa Rosa, bro. You know, this is Sonoma County, like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
the vines are right down the street from us. It's a big city. It's, well, not as big as Fresno, but like, you know,
yeah.
200,000 people and then vines.
So like it's kind of weird because I grew up knowing I was gonna go to college. I don't know I knew why because like it was like my I was under like this pressure that it was gonna be the only way I was gonna be able to work some type of quote unquote legit job. You get what I'm saying? And the fucked up thing for me was that when I was going through it, that like like shit like DACA and shit wasn't in effect yet. So,
Shout out to all the
uh,
dreamers that did that. My ex-wife Nancy, she was one of the founders of the Dream Act movement, bro.
oh, that's what's up. That's what's
Yeah.
up. Pero yeah, so for me, I was like, I could be doing all this shit for nothing. Even if I finish the program, I can't work my degree if I don't have fucking.
And you were at that
You get,
period. You were at that gangster period.
yeah, bro. So
I'm
I went where I
38.
went, but
A
don't think I.
couple, the people right under me, because my ex-wife was like, she's probably, I don't know, she's probably like 30, early 30s, mid 30s now. Yeah, we were dealing with the same shit. That was the gangster part of motherfuckers that got, no disrespect to people that got DACA now, but
Uh-huh.
like for the people that didn't have DACA and had to go through it, bro, the people that fought for DACA, shout out to them.
Yo, and here's some more bullshit. That you mentioned student loans, right?
Yeah, you guys can't get them.
I can't. Yeah, but trip out how fucked up the system is, right? And of course, it worked out for me because trip out how being undocumented was a blessing in disguise. Because look, I couldn't get loans, so I couldn't acquire debt. I couldn't even get credit cards, right?
Yeah,
So I graduated with zero debt, and I
yeah,
got homegirls that did the same program that got hella debt.
yeah, dog.
So
That's so funny, boy. You
it
say
just shows you
that.
how fucked up the system is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, kind of.
Yeah,
In one
man.
way
So
or the
like,
other, the system will f you.
so that's what I'm saying. That's also part of what I do. I mean, I work in my field. I work in mental health, and so
These
uh,
discussions are coming quick. Now I was
oh,
gonna
are
say,
they?
yeah, yeah. So hold on. He said, how did you? We'll start with this one. How did you expand your vocabulary so much?
Shit. Well, like fucking, if you if you're familiar with Wu-Tang and the vocabulary that they like integrate in their shit, like um, yeah, I became fascinated with vocabulary, and it's kind of crazy, bro, because this is like the Pocho show, right? Like I remember the first word I learned in English was soda, right? And then you don't wanna speak in an accent when you're undocumented and you're young, a little kid, and you don't really understand shit. You don't want to sound like you got an accent.
Yeah,
You don't want to sound
you don't want
hella
to sound like a
Mexican.
paisa.
Yeah, exactly, right? And
Even though as a
so
pocho, I wish I could have sounded like a paisa. Isn't that funny?
hey, well, bro, same shit with me. I don't have an accent when I speak English, and I can speak perfectly clear. But then I be speaking Spanish, and I'll be saying some fucking words off the manos and shit, and that shit feels embarrassing to me.
Pero está bien,
That
somos
some,
pochos y qué, güey. Está bien.
yeah, well, I know that's why, but that's what I'm like, fuck it, you know.
Yeah,
And,
we gotta live
and
that way.
so yeah, man, that's part of what I do too. Actually, like, I've actually created some curriculum with hip hop, and I do work in that area in mental health, integrating hip hop as well.
Oh, that's
And
sick, my
so,
boy, because I fucking went through like, cause so I'm from up north, I'm a northerner and shit, and so I changed my life whenever I went down south, spent my whole life in LA, but and eventually I met Homeboy Industries, and if you can imagine all these Southerners, bro, I was the photographer for a bunch of Southsiders, and they
yo,
didn't they
I need a link with them. People have been
yeah,
telling me.
yeah, and they didn't know that I was from where I was from because I look like an artist. I was Pocho 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I was
Oh, you were
Pocho 1.
writing? You were writing too?
Yeah, well, I came in as an artist. I came in as a professional, as somebody that was
Okay.
like I went to CSUN, I had a master's, like you, like somebody like you, and I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they fucking they they like transformed how I saw everything, bro. And the reason I got sober, if you can believe it, was from a bunch of fucking Southsiders who helped me get my life together, bro. How the fucking crazy would
Shit.
that have been?
That's crazy.
Hell yeah, bro. And that's what's like so beautiful about photography is photography will take you places you never thought, put you in the room with the coolest motherfuckers in the world.
Yeah,
Every time
yeah.
wherever I'm at, I'm with the best, dopest motherfuckers with the coolest stories. And I love doing that. Shout out to Maserati. If Maserati Ricky's in the motherfucking building, shout
Yo,
out to
shout
him.
out to everybody in the live. Share the live one time.
Yeah, share the
Um,
live real quick. It only takes a second. I think they were saying that you weren't speaking into the phone, but I don't know. Um,
Speaking. Okay.
because sometimes it's like muzzled a little bit. But
All right. Sure. It might be.
No,
this fan I got on.
no, now you're good. I think it's just when you get too
Okay,
close.
for sure.
I was only able to get money for my books, but I had to pay for my classes. Yep, I remember my ex-wife, bro, she was in a PhD program and all her
Yeah.
friends were like but still like having loans and kicking it and just studying. She would have to be a fucking, what is it called? A fucking babysitter, a dog watcher, all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? And hustle her
Yeah.
way through. And but with no
Hella
debt though, she
childish,
has
man.
no debt.
Yeah.
Hey, move it the other way, my boy. Look, yeah. There you
Oh yeah, my
go.
bad.
Hey, so what made you get into mental health?
um,
Hey, you cool
fuck,
if I
so
smoke?
what's up? Yeah, oh yeah, I don't mind if you
My
do.
bad. I gotta
That's
ask.
up
I
to
feel like
you.
I should ask.
Yeah, no, I never smoke on camera.
Oh, for sure. I feel
Um,
you. I don't give a
yeah,
fuck.
navigating shit, but
I know, no. That's
yeah,
the sad part, homie. Can I say something about that?
yep,
It really is hard, homie. Like, man, bro, I had a job. I mean, so I worked at the mayor's office and I was a community outreach officer, but I couldn't be myself all the way. And it just started to break my soul down, bro. And it just kept breaking my
bro,
soul down. And because
bro,
I have photography, luckily, like I was able to, because photography, you can work with corporations, you can work with nonprofits, you can, so then I started doing social media marketing. Then I started to
yep,
learning how to do different lanes of income. But one thing I told myself is I was done, dog. I was done. Like fuck those degrees if I can't be myself. Do you know what's sad right now, my boy? Is that UPS pays better than all the nonprofits here. I could have never went to college and just got on a UPS truck than how much these nonprofits be pimping us. These nonprofits be
bro,
pimping us, saying it's the good work, it's the good Lord work, while one or two of them make money, but we're all suffering. How many people do you know that are balling working in a nonprofit? You know what I mean? For what? And they went to school and they're in debt, and on
yeah,
top of it, let me just tell you this. And on top of it, they can't be their full selves. They can't be their full selves. You know what I mean? And
it's
I just
crazy,
told
man.
myself, fuck it, dog. If I have to fucking be impoverished, but I can be my full self, I will. And I was doing hella good in the pandemic, before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit, and now I'm starting to come back. But bro, like I just said, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be my full
Yeah,
self. And
yeah,
these institutions, the problem with these institutions, bro, is they make you transform into their narrative when they should take you as you are and take you with
yeah,
all the imagine all the social capital you have, and if they let you just be your full self, what could really
yeah, yeah,
happen in the institution you work for? Sorry to go off
exactly.
on a tangent, but it's
Nah,
so
you're good, man.
I hate when I have to my homies that are professionals that in a situations they can't really, they have to watch out all these different things, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
such a bitch. And that's why I decided to never work for a nonprofit again or an institution where I couldn't be my full self. And I tell them,
yeah,
like, you know what I mean? I'm not willing to work any place I can't, be
yeah,
myself. And when I'm off the clock, I am not one of your agents.
yeah,
Like I'm not in your
yeah,
cult. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
My bad, dog.
yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy trying to navigate both worlds and shit.
And especially if you're somebody that like might not have papers
And
or this or that.
yeah, well, some people don't realize how much it impacts you as an artist too. Like, trust me. Like, I don't give a fuck. I know it's all bullshit. I know all this whole shit about fucking splitting up the planet and countries and border. I know it's all bullshit. It's just bureaucratic political shit, right? But at the same time, it does impact your fucking livelihood and and the way you live and shit. So like it impacts you as an artist. Like you feel like you're kind of poco a poco trying to kind of be more and more your just complete self. But you always
Yeah,
but you have to kind of tread lightly. You get what I'm saying? But
I feel you.
I don't like treading lightly. You know what I'm saying?
Hell nah. Hey, shout out to my
Yeah.
boy.
And
Shot by
so
Manzo.
and that's how I got. That was your question. How'd I get into mental health? So this connection that I had with music, like I remember listening to
Facts.
music and envisioning like the poverty, envisioning like the social issue people encounter, right? And like I remember crying when music made me cry. I remember when music fucking
Fuck. I want to hear that music.
motivated me. You know what I'm saying? When it inspired me, all that emotional experience, right? like it was healing to hear other stories. That's what inspired me to start writing my own story, right? And I would always take it there and say shit that I felt I wanted to say, but that some people might not say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so and yeah, just putting shit out there, you know, put it like it's like putting your heart on your sleeve. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
It's like
yeah.
wearing your heart on your sleeve and shit. So um yeah, so that was it was just helpful. I never thought of it like that till later. You know, like I was always trying to quit school because of music. I was like, man, I can't wait to I'm just gonna get my bachelor's, do like the bare minimum to say like kind of like I did my duty,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
As
yeah,
first
yeah.
generation, right? Let me punch in real quick and get out,
That's
right?
funny.
But the fucking but but then you do have that thing like, well, how am I gonna support myself? How you know?
Yeah, you gotta get a master's. Dog, a bachelor's is like a fucking high school diploma. It ain't shit now.
Yeah, yeah, man. So like so yeah, so I you know I went to school muy a huevo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't like school, but I guess I felt like I was kind of like I could pick up on shit and like I went to school like you know how when you fucking study just enough just to pass the test and you're like fuck it after the test like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, no, for sure, bro.
That's how I went to school. That's the attitude I went to school with. Like in my classes, I was thinking the lyrics all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
I
went
would
to
be fucking
Yeah, I went to school. That's funny that we how we go to schools for different reasons. I went to school because I was trying to get away from not like get away from my gang, but I didn't want to die in prison, and I just was like, I basically just saw it for what it was, and I was like, I'll do anything that as long as I can get away from this, you know. And so I was running from
yeah
something
yeah.
basically, and I knew I would always have to come back, and I have come back to serve my
Hey,
community.
how did you because I work with youngsters right now, and you know I don't want to say too much details about any of that. Like, but how do you make the
Just
shift
bark, bark, bark,
from
bark, bark.
how do you make the shift from seeing it for what it is? Because sometimes it's hard to get, or you're describing it like because I didn't grow up in the life, you know what I'm saying? But I had homies that banged, I had homies that had different levels of association. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, see, this is
But
my situation is different though. My mom's probably the most famous Latina in this area, bro. She's on the side of this the newspaper building here for the 50 people that shaped Sonoma County history. She runs the first bilingual public radio station in the whole United States. So my mom's a fucking G, you know. So I come from a family of like activists, you know what I mean? My dad's from the
for sure.
South, and so. And they met in the United Farm Workers struggle. That's why I was born in Santa Paula and Oxnard because they were working the strawberry strikes. And so I grew up
For
with like
sure.
Cesar Chavez and like Dolores Huerta. And I have memories of Cesar Chavez right before he died. And
Uh-huh.
so I grew up like that. But then for me, bro, I just first so I just want to say first, like when you grow up in the hood, there's levels of privilege. Like even in the hood, you know. So I was at the highest levels of privilege because I lived in an apartment where my friends lived in houses, but my parents had an education. They had a factory in their brain that eventually they could use any time to get us out of poverty. And I couldn't understand
Yeah.
why we were in poverty. But for me, so I always had that, and my parents always showed love to me, homie. And a lot of gang banging is a language of loss of hope. It's suicide for poor people. You know what I mean? It's not a real life. You know what I mean? It's suicide. You know what I mean?
That yeah.
Keep going, go.
That's what I try to articulate like to like when you tell me I don't give a fuck, you're like what are you essentially saying? You're telling me you don't care. You're telling me you don't care about yourself. Like I'm that's concerning. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And and so basically, you know, gangbanging is like wraparound services based on conditional love. And the thing is, wraparound services, think about it. If you don't have a dad, and the thing is that fucking it serves so many things. If you don't have a father, a sister, respect, girls, money, this, it's a lifestyle. It hits the mind, body, brain, soul, everything, bro. And for me, I had girls. I didn't worry about that. I didn't need that. I had I had both my parents, but I'm half Irish, homie, and I didn't really grow up Irish. So seeing my white father around nothing but Mexicans, it was a trip for me. And then being the only one that was biracial in Santa Rosa, it's not, it's probably, it's bigger, but it's probably like Sangre places like that where there's not a lot of diversity, you know. So
Yeah.
being biracial was an issue, homie. And so for me, becoming a northerner was I became somebody, and all the jokes stopped. You know what I mean? Separate from the homies, but I got to gain my. It was like becoming a Chicano, but
Yeah.
but it's like becoming a Chicano but with a gun. It's hard to explain, you know, like. And it was in the
Yeah.
90s. You feel me? Shout out to my boy
Yeah.
Blacks. And so and so for me, my boy, it was just um I can't explain how I was really mad, bro. Like when I lost my grandma too. And I just had some anger. I've always had anger in my heart, homie. And the homies helped me express that anger in the some crucial ass ways. Yeah, suicide for people of poverty. That's deep. Thank you, bro. But so basically, homie, like we were all coming to this thing, look, it's like we were praising false prophets, man. It's like we were coming to church, but it was the wrong church and the wrong
Yeah.
sermon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is, homie, is that I'm still from my neighborhood. I ain't no dropout.
Yeah.
I don't never went against my people. Even though I fuck with Sureños and I call them Sureños because I offer that
Uh-huh.
respect. I call
Yeah.
Bulldogs Bulldogs because I offer that
Mhm.
respect. And I hope
Yeah.
that they,
That's
and
okay.
even if they called me a buster, I would still call him a bulldog or Sueño because it's not about what they say, it's about how I carry myself as a gentleman, you know what I mean? And so
That's what's up.
because I come from the 90s, bro, when we still had like we were catching fades and we were like, and I ain't nothing big. I never in the prison, none of that, homie. I call myself an average C level, like you know how
Uh-huh.
you went to school and you just kind of passed? That's how I did gangbanging, bro. I just did the bare minimum.
Damn, that's funny, man.
I
That's
did. No, I
crazy.
swear to God. I like swear to God, homie. Like when I was shooting at fools, I wasn't trying to hit them, dog. I'll be honest.
Yeah, yeah,
Some
yeah.
of the most violent things I did it out of fear, and
Uh-huh.
I was proud of myself though. Um, I would leave with girls all the time, so I never had to be there when the crime happened. I was a kind of a guy that got a lot of girls, and the youngsters liked me, so I manipulated a lot of young men to go fuck their
Uh-huh.
lives up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I put
Yeah.
many men, not many, I put some men. I don't want to put myself, because people try to, oh, you're trying to act like an OG, dog. I ain't shit. Real quick, I ain't shit. But I'll fuck you up now. But so, but
But you call it for what it is, man. Like, because again, I sometimes I don't even know how much to speak on the life because I haven't lived it, right?
yeah.
So,
I mean, I
but
haven't
but
even lived it all the way, but I just think you should
but
only
you
talk
call it for
about,
what it is. Like it's like manipulation,
yeah,
like
but you,
and no disrespect,
yeah,
to
yeah.
anybody,
No, no.
claiming any sin or anything, but it's just like I don't know, I can't,
No, I mean, I get in, people trip on me for talking about it. I just don't talk about details. Like I don't say my neighborhood. I don't
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about anybody else. I talk about myself. I think you should speak from your experiences. And,
yeah,
I am from somewhere and I'm proud to be from that place. And the thing is, I actually don't think you should drop out of gangs, though. I don't think you should leave your gang. I think you should empower your gang to just do different shit. So I have a different perspective. So these people are doing, I don't do gang prevention. I don't do gang intervention. I don't believe in none of that. I think we should
yeah,
promote gangs, just promote them in a positive way. Because if you're
yeah,
already in a gang, it's too much, it's too sticky to get out. And it's too disrespectful. You just, why would you? For me,
yeah,
I said I was going to be from somewhere and I'm still from somewhere. And there's people that get mad at me for saying that I'm still from somewhere. But you can't tell me, you know what I mean? I fought for mines. You know what I mean? I sacrificed for
yeah,
this. And so,
yeah,
but my whole thing is I'm redirecting my energy now, bro. And that's what it's about. And all I did is I just wanted to live. And I'll just be honest, when I was younger, homie, I went to jail and I was like, oh, this is awkward. I'm claustrophobic. I love women. I love women. I love women. And I hate and I hate being around a bunch of angry men all the time. Fuck all that
yeah,
shit. Dog, people
yeah,
talking about it's so cool to go to prison, glorifying going to jail, dog. Yo, a bunch of lames. Respect to all the people that had to do time, like my friends. One of my best friends just got home from doing 20 years. And
yeah,
but they did time so you don't got to, you know? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you don't
yeah,
gotta experience that shit. You know what I mean? And my
yeah,
homies did time so I don't gotta experience prison. I'm 38. I don't never wanna say I know anything about prison, man. I'm a fucking
yeah,
grown
yeah,
ass, I'm a man, bro. Men try not to go to prison. You know what I mean? So because
Yeah.
they treat you like a child in there.
Yeah, it's the trap, man, and that's why, like, for me, not only being undocumented, but I always had to move different. I couldn't get involved with too much shit because to me, going to prison could mean something else.
Get
You know what I'm
deported
saying?
like my cousin. He was a gang
Exactly,
member. He was a
bro.
gang member and he got deported. He lives in Mexico City
Exactly,
and
bro.
now he's an English teacher in Mexico City. Shout out to
Oh shit,
Danny.
it's killing the game out there or what?
Yeah,
That's what's
with the
up. Like
little
that was the
tie.
thing.
Motherfucker has a tie. He's like big old motherfucker.
You that's your cousin?
Hell yeah! Shout out to Danny. That's
Shout
my
out your
fuck.
cousin, man.
You know.
Yeah, but uh yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought, but
No, but let's move forward, man. Hey,
yeah, go for it. There's some more questions.
yeah. I mean, I don't. Well, oh, here's the question. Question to Agent. What is your writing process with your music? El Pueblo.
My writing process is it's evolved, it changes. I have multiple approaches that I take. Sometimes I don't write at all. I just go over shit in my head, memorize it, record it. I like to write down phrases that I come up with, like a phrase, just a couple of words, an idea. You know what I'm saying? Like uh and so
Yeah.
I'm trying to trying to think of an example, but it's like there's so many examples. But um, yeah, so I'll take something and expand on it. Sometimes I don't really write. Sometimes I'll write on my phone. Um, yeah, so I'll listen to a beat. There's a lot of approaches. You can listen to a beat, or sometimes you can take something you have and match it to a beat, or and change it a little bit, or sometimes you have a
No, I
couple.
don't know, bro. 'Cause I don't do that. Hey,
Well, well,
I knew at a young age, homie, that that shit wasn't for me. You know what I mean? Like, I know my shit, you know? It shit was, it just didn't come, dog. You know what I mean? It just didn't
yeah,
come.
yeah, it's crazy because you kind of naturally go through different writing processes or creative processes, and then you find out the greats, right? Like they have the same processes, right? Like at first I wouldn't write my shit at all. I would just listen. I would just like kind of premeditate it and feel it and kind of really get in that zone and then record it.
Yeah.
So there was no need to write it down because I would sit through it. And I found out Jay-Z worked like that, and so
Oh, shit.
it kind of validates different writing processes. And that when you hear that other artists, sometimes they get writer's block, or sometimes they piece together two verses that weren't even gonna be a song, but they found this overarching hook, that kind of bring them together. And so they threw them together and made a song when there were two separate verses and like stuff like that. There's a lot of different approaches.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, now, but now you talk about some photography and I'll fucking blow your face off. You feel me? But I'm not, you know what I mean? But for me, it's like, I don't even like, actually, that's not even true. Maybe I'm lying to myself. I mean, maybe about like look at what photography does, my boy, because I don't really give a fuck about photography. I don't even like being around people that just want to talk about all this technical shit, you know? Like, I got into photography in Metro because I was like,
Peace, Cosmic Dad.
yeah, shout
Uh-huh.
out. Because I was like, fool, somebody has to tell our story, dog. You know what I mean? Like the dean in the 60s and
Oh
shit.
yeah.
And so I stopped, because I speak a lot. One thing about me is I might speak a lot, but I also know when to shut the fuck up. And that's really important in this life is to speak your mind. You know what I mean? But know when to
Yeah.
shut up. This motherfucker said,
Yeah, that's
Pocho
cool.
said, I'll blow your face off. No, yeah, no, but you know what I mean? But I believe that. And so I love photography moment because I can just be in the cut and I get this close to people. And how many people in this world do you get this close to? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Even if I get right
yeah,
now like this, it'll get uncomfortable. Motherfuckers
yeah.
get uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It gets a little weird, right?
Yeah.
So think when you have a camera, homie, and you're taking a picture of somebody, sometimes they know you're there, sometimes they're so comfortable with you that they forget you're there, and that's the best. And they
Yeah.
fucking and you capture these moments, bro, of deep humanity, homie, and it changes your life. And I started doing that with Serrano's, homie, and it changed my life, and I could never see them the same. And so because of
So
that,
that's when you got into photography. How'd you start taking pictures again into photography?
oh, I got into that at CSUN and Metchan. I became the historian, and I had to take pictures of what
Okay.
we did. You know how clubs have historians?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if
What
you
what
ever.
what 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 made you like passionate about it? What made you like, you know,
Well, I can't
like
draw. I can't draw, fool, and I can't rap, and I knew I had something to say. You know what I mean? And so when I
yeah,
found photography, it just came natural. I don't know. I can't really explain it. It's that like because I never took a class or I took a couple classes at SMC, but that was even before like not. But like I just love what photography says, you know, and that's gonna live forever. You know, like I have my photography on Alcatraz Island where it says "We are still here." Oh, well, this is probably the defining moment. I went to San Francisco and got a master's, and when I was up there, I spent my money for graduate school. You know how you can get loans to buy a
yeah.
camera, and I
That's
started
good.
taking pictures of this thing called Alcatraz Island. The 40 years later when they occupied Alcatraz, and they did a whole photo thing, bro. If you go to Alcatraz right now and you go to the little candy, you know, the place you buy souvenirs, there's a
Uh-huh.
museum right there. You go in there, it's gonna say Salvador, it's gonna say Salvador Eliseo Pocho Sanchez Strawbridge, homie. Nigga, my name will forever be in Alcatraz, and my
Oh
ancestors
shit,
can go
that's
see what their
crazy.
goddamn grandfathers savage ass did to stand by the Native American people and tell their story with them and not for them, but with them. And then I started traveling all over the motherfucking world, homie. I went on a war tour with Bruno Mars, fucking started working for CNN, just starting
Oh shit,
fucking, and
that's
that's why I try to
crazy.
tell people if you find a passion, go for it. I dropped out of school and went for it, and bro, it was the best decision I ever made. You know, and I've been in a love affair with photography ever since. You know, and Pocho came out of that. I studied under a guy named Rudy Acuña, the godfather of Chicano studies, and he used to call me Pinche Pocho Pelon, because I used to be pelon like a cholo, bro. I look like the fat
Yeah,
X-Man
yeah,
because I'd always be in the Dicky outfits. And
yeah.
so people started calling me Pocho at school, bro. And when I got a Facebook, I was like, I don't want to get a Facebook. Fucking motherfuckers are poking each other and shit. Cause I had MySpace, bro. Remember MySpace? Fucking, were you
Yeah,
on
I remember
MySpace?
MySpace. I started rapping on MySpace. I started
Fucking,
put that's when I started putting music out and shit. I was like, oh shit, there's fucking 500 people, listening to this shit, or
yeah. Hey, remember when the friends you can have only a certain top five or
the
top
top,
10?
yeah, the top eight. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
It got real, dog. It got real in the field.
yeah. You could customize your shit,
Man,
like
they
web
need to
design.
we need to normalize MySpace again or whatever they call that shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Because you could
yeah,
have music bumping. It was like a party in there,
yeah,
fool.
yeah. It's because people just go with whatever's out though, man. Like I bet you if they revamp MySpace and they fucking represent it as something else, would be like, oh shit, you can have a whole page and you create the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Like the visuals, the fucking music, and all that.
Yeah, I was Sally Boy Sanchez on there.
You're what?
Sally Boy Sanchez.
Sally Boy Sanchez. Oh, okay.
Fuck yeah, my sister's a party. Well, I was fucking macking. Hey, and then that's when I first started putting my pictures. Then I went to Facebook and I didn't want to put my name, fool. So I put Pocho1 photography or photography, and then it was on from there, homie. Then motherfuckers started giving me money for pictures. And I'm a hustler, homie. I sold weed for 10 years, never got in trouble, except for I got kicked out of a
Yeah,
couple schools, but in Santa Monica. So I was like, shit, I can hustle these photos. And then I
yeah,
started
yeah.
hustling. And I've been all over the
That's what's
world,
up,
homie.
man.
So that's why I just try. My message is just if you can just. My only problem, homie, was I wasn't my full self, bro. I was a half stepper and I was presenting a false. Like, who do you want me to be today? I'm gonna be
Uh-huh.
whatever the fuck you want me to be. And I
Yeah,
fucking did
yeah,
that, dog, and I can't believe I did. It gets me annoyed, homie, because fuck everybody, homie, that doesn't know me, that love me for 100% me, you know.
yeah,
And
yeah,
sometimes we don't even give people the opportunity to know all of us. So why can we hate on them when they trip when they get surprised by something? That's why when I meet
yeah,
people, I want them to get my energy. You know, right now I smoke in front. I do me. My pastor was just on this motherfucker, dog, and that's why I waited to smoke. But he already knows I smoke on here. He don't trip. He don't give a fuck. I keep it 100. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And he'll never say nothing
yeah,
to me because he knows what's up. I'm a man. You know, he came to my platform. I'm not at his
yeah,
church. This is my church. You feel me? And
yeah,
so,
yeah,
and I want to be at a church. I want to be at a place where you can be your full self. You can put your flaws out right when you meet people. I wish we could meet each other, bro, instead of saying how you doing, say, hey, bro. I struggle with attention. My ego's crazy. I love women maybe too much, and I'm a workaholic, and I want like just like all these things. I just wish we could just say that to each other so
Just
that we,
mad unfiltered, huh? Just straight
yeah,
raw. Yeah.
just give it to each other, homie, so that we can just
Yeah.
get cut through the fucking bullshit. Because we're all gonna fucking die, homie. If we're all gonna
And
fucking die,
that's what I
why
do.
not just chill the fuck out and have a good
Yeah.
time?
That's what I do in the music. You know,
Do
I don't know
what
if you
though?
checked out some of the other joints, but I got some other joints and like a lot of the stuff that's gonna be coming out, it's shit that I'm showing a lot more of who I am and different sides of me. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times some people I think I've heard it before where some people think I'm just kind of only like a serious artist, like I don't like to have fun and shit. You know, we're talking about when you said in the beginning they used to party like out here at Fresno State and stuff, it made me think of like Immortal Technique, that line when he says, "Oh, would you think revolutionaries don't like to fuck too?"
Shit, they fuck
I
the
don't know if you
best.
remember that. What's up?
I said they fuck the best. Because you
You
gotta
know what I'm
understand, I'm
saying?
a revolutionary, bro. I'm guided by love, homie. Gangsters are guided by hate, and love always wins in the end because God, love is the language of God, and nothing is more powerful than God. So I'm with God regardless. So I've already won. That's the whole thing. I've already won because I have a
Yeah,
relationship with my higher power. Not Jesus, not that. I do go to a Christian church too, and I do Native ways. I do Sweat Lodge, and and I honor both sides of myself, and all sides of myself. Um, and I don't trip on all the details of Jesus, this nigga right here. This fool right here has ash on his head by accident. You know what I mean? My bad, dog. Like shit happens, homie. Like I don't take that. How can I say this? Like I don't take that. They're all prophets. You know what I mean? We're all prophets. You're a prophet. I'm a prophet. Jesus is a prophet. I'm just as beautiful. I am exactly Jesus. I am exactly Gandhi. He is not better than me. Not one fucking moment. None of them are. We're all the same, bro. We're just beautiful fucking beings. And what I do is I just take from these prophets. You know what I mean? And create my own narrative. You know what I mean? And I want to be
yeah,
in a space where we can do that, bro. And I feel like there's less and less spaces where we can truly be ourselves. That's why I'm trying to create a
yeah.
space like that.
That's what's dope about making music because you could just create your own shit and
Hell
like I
yeah.
mean people like it, some people might not, but you know it is what it is. You have full control, you know, over what you want to say. And there's a question right here. How
I
do your parents
know.
perceive
My
your
dumb ass.
music?
Well, it's a good conversation when we fucking forget to get to the
Nah,
question.
it's cool. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah.
I'm trying to multitask. You know what I'm saying? But
No, no, it's a
well,
good thing. So yeah. So how do your
it's
parents
crazy
perceive your
because
music?
in the beginning,
That's a
like
good question.
I had to talk to my mom multiple times because she used to say it was just a black music. All it has is puras groserías, like shit like that. She didn't really understand like rap or hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
And so I'm over here explaining the fucking history and how fucking, you know, brown folks were there from the start and all this shit
Yeah,
and
Puerto
like,
Ricans in New
and you know,
York.
like, yeah. And so, I mean, I think they're kind of, my parents weren't too musical as far as like, I mean, they listened to music, but I mean, I think that's why I started making music in Spanish. And I guess kind of so I could have some stuff in Spanish, but also like, in case my parents want to listen to it, but just to kind of honor that side of me, I guess. And it's just dope. It's just dope to get into it, to start doing shit in Spanish, to be doing shit in Spanish. But that was part of why I wanted to do it. Like I'm working on I'm translating some of my music and some of my songs.
Oh,
There's songs
dope.
that there's music that's gonna come out. This you have if anyone on here has heard Cypress Hill Los Éxitos en Español, the album that's all their songs translated in Spanish,
Damn, I didn't even
and it's
know
the
there
same
was
beat.
that.
Nah, check that shit out, bro. Check that shit out. It's just dope. It's the same beat, exact same beat, just translating it in Spanish. They just make the hook work. They translate it in Spanish, and so I'm doing some music like that where there's some of my songs that I have out in that are in English that I'm doing a direct trans. It's on the exact same beat. It's just the songs in Spanish,
Oh,
and
hell
so
yeah, that's
I'm doing
tight
some of
though.
that stuff. I'm doing more stuff in Spanish, but I mean, my mom has a closer connection to it. My dad's in Mexico. He does ask for my music. I send him my music. Um,
Damn, he's
so
in
yeah.
Mexico. Has he been there for a long time?
Yeah, my dad got deported. He's been there for over like 11 years now.
Hey, bro. You know another thing, homie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. You know, we all have. It's funny how not all, but a lot of us have. You know, like my cousin. Isn't it crazy how we all have like. I was shooting the pic. I went and shot the kids in the cages, homie, over there
Uh-huh.
on the border, fool. That shit was fucking
Yeah.
nuts. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's the other thing is that I feel like photography, I can do more. I can with it. You know, instead of me just talking, fool. I mean, really, who gives a fuck? You know. But my pictures, you know what I mean? They say a lot, you know what I mean? They definitely say a lot. Because my people say a lot. And I also like to counter, you know, how they try to, many ways, how they see cholos, show cholos smiling, show immigrants working, show
Yeah.
us learning, show motherfuckers raising their kids, you know what I mean? Just random shit, you know,
So they
just
were multidimensional, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, dog. It's fucking weird. Motherfuckers try to put us in a box. And Raza, we're the most unboxable motherfuckers in this planet, bro. You can't put us in a box, bro. Fucking one day you'll see a motherfucker with orange hair and freckles, dog. You know, from fucking Jalisco, you feel me? Then you go to
Yeah.
Veracruz and you see a motherfucker with an afro, like, you know what I mean? Getting braided and shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's just in Mexico. That's not even all Latin America, you feel me? So that's another reason why like like I feel like I'm making love to my culture when I'm taking pictures, you know? I'm like, but I don't mean I mean it like that. Like fucking my culture like in a almost an erotic way. Every no, I'm serious because we're very,
Yeah.
I believe that we are very sexual people, and sometimes Mexicans, because of the Catholic Church, has tried to push down our sexuality. But
Yeah. Yeah.
If you go to Central America, if you go to South America, notice they joke more about sexuality. They're more
Uh-huh.
open. It's not that they're hoes and this and
That
that.
that's part of why I want to travel, man, because I want to see culture in different countries and different areas and shit. And so that's part of why
Oh, go to
I do
Guatemala,
want to be able.
homie. They be fucking over there flirting with you. Like they're not. It's not that you gotta understand. They have us bullwinkled. You know, they have us fucking colonized, thinking that it's that we're supposed to hide our bodies and we're supposed to be scared of each other and we're supposed to
Yep.
like
Yep.
the one and all this pressure for the one. The fuck up, man. There's you know what I mean. Like it is what it
Yeah. Yeah.
is. You know what I mean. And
Yep.
I've always fought now. Before the pandemic, I was saying I'm gonna be my full self, homie, and whoever stays, orale, and whoever goes, apúrate, way. Get the fuck up out of
Yeah.
here. Ándale, way. Let's get up out of here. Let's get it going.
Yep.
Because I only got
For
time. I
sure.
only got time for the truth, homie. I'm getting older. I got gray hairs now. They're coming out, and there's no more time for the baloney. You feel me?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Hell yeah. So hey, man, I'm fucking over here chopping it up. We're having a good combo, dog.
But I appreciate you speaking on that. Uh, because I agree. That's very much part of our language, and that's part of like I was catching a lot of your shows when you're kind of touching on sexuality and stuff, and that was like when I came across your show and stuff,
Yeah, bro.
and
Because oh my bad, go.
yeah, so just the way you were like approaching the conversation, the way you're talking about things, like this guy's dope, and I started checking out your shit and all that. But that's kind of what drew me in, you know?
I appreciate it, man. No, no, I just feel like I don't know, man. Rodent Radio guys, my boy Tony said he's like, we're in a world or a country where nobody gives a fuck, but everybody's easily offended. It's like,
Yeah.
what, dog? If you don't give a fuck, just keep not giving a fuck. If I don't like something, bro, I unfollow it. I turn the page. I don't troll them. I don't just here and there I'll make a joke on some shit, but for the most part, I don't do none of that, bro. When I grew up, in the 90s, when you spoke, eventually you had to speak for, what I mean? You had to face people for that. And so I just
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like we need to, I don't want to go on a tangent, but that we need to build like the space, more
We need to
authentic
communicate, man. A
spaces,
lot of people.
but authenticity. But when we're
Yep.
communicating, it needs to be 100, bro. I need 100 from
Yep.
you, and I'm gonna give you
Yep.
100. I might even
Yep.
give you 114%. You know what I mean? Depending how I'm feeling.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's how I am too, man. I'm a completely like open book, and I like to be like that. And a lot of shit is because we don't communicate, man. A lot of shit could be hella simple if we just communicate straight up, But that we always want to place all these barriers to communication,
Yeah,
and or we don't practice it, We don't anything that makes us uncomfortable. We don't want to fucking do it. We don't want to step out of our comfort zone, and like we got to challenge ourselves constantly to step out of our comfort zone. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Look at the homie said. Suave said, it was awesome to hear you speak and answers questions. Thank you. One of the dopest MCs in the San Joaquin Valley. Hell
Oh,
yeah, bro.
appreciate it, man. Thank you, Suave. Appreciate it, man.
For sure, man.
Um,
Hey, real quick,
there's a
everybody
couple.
follow each other. Follow my, if you're on my side, follow this fool. If you're on his side,
If you're
follow
on my
me.
side, follow this food.
Yeah. Hey, how do you feel about all that? Like that food shit?
um,
I got mixed feelings.
I thought so. I love comedy. I love fucking
Me
laughing,
too,
right?
me too, dog.
So it's like social commentary. It's dope to have representation. It's dope to say like a lot of those jokes is kind of I resonate with them because I remember like kind of thinking of similar jokes
Some of
and
them
clowning
are,
shit like
they're
that. Like
amazing, bro.
even like we used to clown like gangsters that were kind of like ratchet gangsters. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. Tweaked
'Cause,
out the game.
so like connecting to that was when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying?
No, dude,
So like
yeah, it's hard.
connecting to that, like it's funny. It's funny and all that. But the only thing is that, and this is not just on there, but I don't know if it's more prevalent on there, but it's like there's just like kind of like a culture of it's cool to hate, and I guess it's because it's funny too, right? People talk shit because it's funny, right?
Yeah, yeah. I just don't like. There's a rapper named Bozo Bam in LA, and he just was like, they're mocking our culture, and they're not even homies. And the thing is, wow, I'm not like even as he went to prison and everything, so I don't. I consider myself like minor leagues or something, but like for all the people like us that sacrifice though, and for you guys not needing to be from the hood, like or not from the hood, they could be from the hood, but you guys aren't cholos. So why
Yeah,
would you map cholo culture if you're not cholo at that
yeah,
level?
yeah,
At that level, that's all I'm saying. And the
yeah.
other thing, bro, and lastly, because I want to say some quick last shout outs, but is for me, my stepbrother was a drug addict, bro. He became one of those ratchet guys, and he was the most popular, one of the most popular guys in high school. And let me tell you, homie,
Yeah,
if they put a saca la bolsita kind of situation up there of my brother without asking his permission, of having one of the, in an image of him when having probably one of his worst days, bro, you gotta just know
yeah.
that I'd be coming for their necks. So I think that they need to be more responsible, but at the same time, the shit is hilarious, and you really,
Yeah.
I don't want them to stop. I just want them to be aware, of what they're doing, bro, because it could have
Well,
consequences for a lot of people.
yeah, because what I think is they could break shit down a little more. Cause see, when I used to laugh at that shit, it's because I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying? I
Yep.
didn't understand shit, right? But now when you look at it and you see how that could be triggering to people, like I see people say that it's how people come out of like
Yeah, I know
come out
people.
of addiction, but it could also be very very triggering and very kind of like demeaning and like addiction is like it's like an
Yep.
illness. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hey,
not.
bro. Hey,
It,
we're about to run out of time, so do some shout outs real
oh
quick.
shit.
It's a compliment. We're just having a good conversation. We keep fucking just
Yeah,
going on.
yeah, no doubt.
But throw some shout outs because we literally have like a minute.
Okay, man, damn. Um, well, shout out everybody that came on the live. Shout out everybody that follows me that came through. Shout out everybody that follows Pocho Live Show that came through. I'll shout out my homie Halinche, one of my producers that I work with. Um, I'll shout out my mom. Even though
La
she's not on here, but
Jefita.
I got to do that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man.
We'll do
That's
another one.
about
We'll,
it,
we'll do
man.
another one in a while. You know what I mean? We'll catch up.
Yeah, yeah, for
There's
sure,
more
for
to
sure.
say. We're getting cut off. It's a good thing though. I mean,
Yeah,
good
I
energy.
didn't really think of shout outs, but
It's all good, man. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, everybody. Again, follow my boy. He's coming out. He's in Fresno, originally for Sanger. He's doing his thing. He has a degree. He's kind of like me, where we work fuck around in a lot of different worlds, and we just trying to be
yeah.
ourselves. So my bad for having to
Yo,
cut.
thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it,
Yeah,
G.
man.
Thank you.
And sorry again, everybody, for cutting off. We have 30 seconds, so I'm gonna say good night, everybody. Thank you and thank you, bro. We'll stay connected. We'll do this again.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, bro.